Could be the next Ahmed Asif. Say it. Say it.
No.
Claim it.
They could be the next Wasim and Waqar.
Woo! You were saying Naseem and Shaheen fit to become the next Wasim Akar. All right, guys. Thank you very much for tuning back in. This is the Vaguely Familiar podcast. This is the backward point edition of the podcast, our cricket wing. And with me is my brother and remorseful Pakistani fan, Bashaar, today. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. I feel like I've experienced this emotion before in the past. I've seen Pakistan bottle many trophies in the past 10 to 15 years. As much as I've been watching Pakistan cricket, whether that be the 2007 World T20 final, whether that be the
11 semi-final,
the 2014 Asia Cup final, the 2021 World Cup semi-final.
Yeah.
So it's not the first time I've seen Pakistan bottle a trophy that was being presented to them in a platter.
Yeah. I mean, it's a familiar trauma. We've been here before. Our ancestors, deja vu. Our ancestors have been here before. I feel like my dad, throughout the 70s and 80s and 90s, when he was watching cricket, has seen this 99 final for him. Was a tough one to swallow. Same thing with us. Same thing is going to be with our kids. This is just the trajectory of a Pakistani cricket fan. It's you have to pay your dues. You have to go into the to the slums. Like, I think about the 1999 cricket team that we had, right? That the most formidable cricket team of all time. All 11 players of that cricket team of the 1999 World Cup are Hall of Famer Pakistani cricket team players. It's like the 1996 Chicago Bulls. All right, we had the best, and then we bottled it. We bought that was an unbeaten. I think we were unbeaten in that tournament, or maybe lost one.
We lost against India,
of course. And you move into the finals and you lose that game. So what? How does this compare with Pakistan's? Should I say B team? Was Pakistan's B team playing in the final today?
No, this is Pakistan's best available 11 talent.
Okay, see that you put an asterisk.
This is debatable, but I think in my opinion, how much as I've seen cricket, domestic cricket, PSL, Babar has done an honest job to put what is, in his opinion, the best 11 formidable, the best combination possible.
What about friendships?
We're gonna get to that.
Someone tweeted that. All right, so let's just, before we jump ahead and like move around the multiverse like Marvel is doing, let's talk about it in sequence. All right, let's do an overview. Let's do a summary. We're gonna primarily talk about Pakistan and cricket here, guys, but of course other teams will be mentioned, as Pakistan played almost every team except Bangladesh in this Asia Cup. What were your thoughts? How did the Asia Cup fare for Pakistani fans and Pakistan cricket?
I think firstly, when I heard that the Asia Cup is happening, it's been organized, and I saw the format, 6 teams, 2 groups, top 2 of each qualify for Super Fours, and then they play each other again. I just felt like this whole tournament was being organized to have as many India versus Pakistan matches as possible.
Yeah.
Some were even saying it's a best of 3. Right? The Pakistan and India play each other once in the group stage.
Very prematurely.
Super
saying
4,
that, by the way.
And then it was expected that India Pakistan would play in the finals today. But that wasn't meant to be. I think in terms of a Pakistani supporter, we played good cricket for patches of the tournament. We got lucky at certain points. The one thing that was very heartening for me to see, and as a cricket fan and as a Pakistani cricket fan, was how much we fought against India in the past. I think I would say 7 to 8 years, we've seen very one-sided matches of India-Pakistan matches. Either India was winning one-sided or either Pakistan was winning one-sided. So
I remember Pakistan ever winning one-sided.
Champions Trophy, last T20 World
Facts.
Cup. That's 2 games.
All right.
There.
Okay.
Whoa. So, as true fans, we haven't seen a good competitive match. So to see both of those games go down to the second last ball was very heartening to see. And to see Pakistan finally not taking the pressure of an India-Pakistan match. They were just playing it as a regular match. And all of our best guys turned up. I think a lot of positives for Pakistan to take forward from this tournament. And I know we're going to get to that as well. But overall, I think we played decently. We could have played better in certain moments. I think our top order wasn't really in form, and then our middle order got quite exposed for most part of the tournament.
For all of it.
Yeah. I mean, aside from Rizwan, nobody really scored more than 100 runs this tournament for Pakistan.
Let's go game by game.
Yeah.
Right, we'll go about that. I have Pakistan's first game against India opened up. Pakistan scored 147, and India scored 148 for 5 in 19.4. What did you think of this game? We watched it live together.
I thought it was good. I thought both teams were trying their best to lose, but
As Shoaib Akhtar said.
in the end, Pakistan was just better at gifting the match to India. But India just felt like in a lot of pressure.
Like you said, you were just mentioning how Pakistan, this was the first time you watched Pakistan not be under pressure in India, against India.
Yeah.
This was the first time I saw India being under pressure against Pakistan. We had a questionable captain in Rohit Sharma. We had a Virat Kohli who was down in the dumps. All right. We had a playing 11 of India that wasn't really gelling. We didn't know if Ashwin was playing or not. We didn't know where Mohammad Shami was. There was a lot of doubts on this Indian cricket team. And they were not morale way, like just judging by morale, I should say. They were down in the dumps. And we had a Pakistan cricket team that had Rizwan, Mr. Cricket, that had King Babar, right? Take his name not in vain. And we had, for some time, we thought we were going to have Shaheen. He was out. We had Naseem, this new talent, this fiery talent. It was weird being a Pakistan cricket fan and having that much support for that team internationally. Because call Pakistan cricket team whatever you want. They are a format T20 cricket team.
Yeah, and if you add to that, we're playing in the UAE. UAE has been our backyard for the last, I would say, 12, 13 years.
Yeah, over a decade, yeah.
So we know these conditions inside out. We know, how to score runs here, what to do when you win the toss, all that stuff. So I think those two things added together was the perfect combination and the perfect opportunity for Pakistan to go out there and win this tournament.
So how did Pakistan bottle this?
I think it was just... a lot of people are blaming the middle order and the lower middle order, but I want to put some blame on the top order.
Some blame? We're going to put a lot of blame on the top three.
Rizwan's strike rate this whole tournament has been questionable. I know he's played a couple really good match-winning knocks, but I think when Pakistan's mantra in T20s for the past 2-3 years since Babar and Rizwan has been opening have been to play 10-12 overs, with some stability,
70-80,
not lose wickets, score 6, 7, maybe 8 runs and over, and then leave the rest to the middle order and the lower middle order to come in and score at a strike rate of 200 at 10-12 runs and over to compensate for the slow start we had. I think Pakistan has just been very conservative in the power play.
Who pitched this idea? Where did this come from? Where are they drawing inspiration from this? Because this is very mid 2000s Pakistan ODI cricket team.
Exactly. Like even like late 90s, early 2000s.
Even late 2000s, man.
We rely on Afridi, Azhar Mahmood, or Zak to come in, score sixes and fours.
Yeah, quick
at the
30,
end.
40, yeah.
So I think it's very unreasonable, especially in T20s, when someone who's set, who is facing 12, 20, or 30 balls to throw their wicket away and not capitalize on that start. And then you're expecting a middle order batsman to come in and from ball one start striking. It's unreasonable in my opinion.
The scorecard for Pakistan for the first game against India was Rizwan 43 runs off 42 balls, Babar 10 off 9, Fakhr 10 off 6, Iftikhar 28 off 22. And then we get this late blitz from Haris Rauf and Shahnawaz Dhani, which is 13 from 7 and 16 from 6. Without that, we weren't even close to 140.
Yeah. I think even with that total, Pakistan did really well to fight back. I think not a lot of my Indian friends knew of who Naseem Shah was. We've seen him in the PSL, we've seen him in the test team. And so we knew exactly what he was capable of. A youngster who can swing the ball both ways at mid 140s.
What a moment at the end of that, or near the end of that game, where he was cramping up, but he still gave it his best. I think a real fighter, real fighting spirit in Naseem. And we see that very rarely. Like last time I visibly or like remember someone giving it their best was Shoaib Akhtar in the 2011 World Cup with his knees swelling. He was just good for like the first spell. I remember that. Like that was a big debate. Like, are we going to play Shabi against India or not? Like we didn't. Horrible call retrospectively.
Wahab took 5.
Yeah, we saw how he took that. He was three of the last like 5 balls of his innings. So let's not go there. But yeah, like that was definitely on my mind. Like we've seen a fighter after a very long time.
And then we saw Haris Rove lead Pakistan's bowling attack.
Yeah.
I think, he just joined the team 2 years ago. I've been a huge advocate of Haris Rove. I feel like he has all the ingredients to be and who he is, a very top of the line leading pace attack bowler in the world. And he's proven that in this tournament.
Solid bowler, man. That's
Not having
chase.
not having Shaheen is such a big blow, right? And for India as well, not having Bumrah, I think those were two key people for both teams to miss. They lead the bowling attack. They are wicket takers. They're great death bowlers. So for Pakistan, I would say to play without Shaheen and still get those early wickets for Naseem Shah to kind of fill in the shoes for Shaheen. That was very heartening to see.
Definitely.
And also throughout this whole tournament, I think Pakistan was kind of hit with many injuries. We saw Shaheen get out first, and then Wasim Jr., and then Dahani. But Pakistan has such a battery of pace bowlers. We saw during the stats at the Asia Cup that Pakistan clocked the most deliveries over 140 kph. And if you talk about Hasnain, Naseem, Haris Rove is over 150. These guys are a really great talent. They're very young, and
Future looks bright.
they're only going to go up from here.
Yeah.
I even see if Naseem can keep his body fit, injury free, that Naseem and Shaheen
Could be the next Ahmed Asif. Say it. Say it.
no
Claim it.
They could be the next Wasim and Waqar.
Woo! You heard it here first on the Backward Point Vaguely Familiar podcast. You're saying Naseem and Shaheen, if fit, will become the next Wasim Akar.
Shaheen is 22, 21. Naseem is 19.
Shaheen is 22.
These guys both, if they're fit, they can reign cricket. They can lead Pakistan's fast bowling for the next 10 to 12 years.
Shaheen is 22, bro. That's insane to me.
So I think, but I really feel like Naseem's action is very difficult. There's a lot going on there. He has some technical errors with his action as well. Like his landing foot is pointing towards fine leg. It should be straight. So he's pivoting a lot. There's a lot of pressure on his lower back, a lot of twisting going on in the end, and he might need to.
That's what spinners do a lot. There's a lot of twisting upon impact.
Exactly, and
Is that where he gets his swing from?
I think that's where he generates his pace from, but he needs to work on that because right now he's young, his body's still growing, but it's going to eventually catch up to him. But really great to see Naseem ball so well and even bat so well against Afghanistan.
Yeah, I was just gonna go to that. The next game was Hong Kong versus Pakistan,
we thrashed Hong Kong. Not even no chance.
Yeah, great bowling performance there by Shadab there. Next game was against India again.
Yeah.
So let's go India round 2. This was the one that we won, and this is the 4th. Or was it Sunday, September 4th? Yes.
Yeah.
It was India make 181 for 7, and Pakistan chase it with 2 balls with 1 ball remaining, 182 for 5. Brilliant chase. One of my favorite games I've seen in a very long time. I would say after the 152 for 0, this is definitely one of my favorite Pakistan performances. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, that one sort of.
We didn't talk about Kohli, but I would want to talk about that because this is an asterisk. Kohli made 35 off, I think 32, 33,
34.
34 on the game number 1 against Pakistan. He makes 60 off 44 here. Yeah. But go ahead. Pakistan's win against India, 182.
Yeah, that second game was very different. I saw Rohit Sharma and KL Rahul come out, guns blazing. They were, they went after Naseem, they went after Haris Rove, and they were looking to really capitalize on the power play. And that's kind of the reason why they got to 180. But India made so many changes to their playing 11. Like, the second match, Jadeja was a forced change, and then Dinesh Karthik went out, Punt came in, Pandya was rested, he came back in. One of their pace bowlers, Avesh Khan, got sick, so I think one of the other guys came in.
Here's a stat for you. India did not play the same team twice in the Asia Cup.
Yeah, so that's another podcast I want to do with the problem with the Indian cricket team. But
another podcast for
they
sure.
just have a problem with too many. They're kind of confused. It's a paradox of choice for India right now. So
very privileged.
Yeah,
anyways.
lots of problems for them with that context.
A lot of older people still wanting to still wanting a piece of the pie. Like I just saw Aaron Finch. He retired from
ODIs.
ODI cricket, and he's like, I could have played another year, but I wouldn't have been my
We
best.
saw Owen Morgan. We saw Ben Stokes. We saw Finch. And then we saw recently Trent Bolt leave his contract for New Zealand cricket to pursue other opportunities if it comes around. So that just builds on what I was talking about in the last podcast.
But you won't see subcontinent players doing that. Some of them, including some in this cricket team, Indian cricket team, they won't.
Yeah.
I mean, we can talk about it whenever you want, but
Yeah.
But Pakistan display on this. India make 181 for 7. KL Rahul, Rohit Sharma both go for 28. Kohli makes a 60 off 44. Vintage Kohli there. Sky makes 13 off 10. Rishabh 14 off 0. Pandya duck and Huda 16. With the Ravi Bishnoi making 8 off 2.
I think the highlight of that match for me is that last over of Haris Rauf against Virat Kohli.
Supreme
150
bowling.
plus Ks, reverse swinging, bowling bullets into the stumps, Yorkers spot on. That was really world class.
Supreme bowling. Like I said,
Bowling
it was,
against the best batsman in the world in a really crunch match to keep your cool and bowl with that pace, with that accuracy. That's just world class.
insane. And I really want to get the images of Fakhr Zaman dropping the catch and the 4 out of my brain.
Village cricket. Village cricket.
Village cricket. I saw that tweet of yours. You guys should follow us on Twitter. During the match, we do a lot of interesting takes, like the entire country of Pakistan does on the cricket team as they're playing. And Bashaar had a really good tweet, where he called Fakhr Zaman's drop catches the standard of village cricket in the UK. And wholeheartedly agree with you there. It was just abysmal to see that. But at the same time, I kind of feel for the guy. He was having a tough day. Our coach on cricket,
He had a tough tournament.
he had a tough tournament, yeah, for sure. But our coach in cricket, remember, he used to say, if you're having a bad day on the field, the ball will follow you.
Yeah, he used to say, like our coach used to say, you can bury that guy in the field somewhere and the ball will still find a way to find him there.
Yes, and that's exactly what's happening to him. The guy, you don't expect the ball to come to you twice like that. And the first time you overjudge it, you overstep it, it goes for 4. Second time you go in there, you overrun it, goes over you. I'm glad they didn't go for 6 because that happened today on the final where they dropped the catch 4-6. So we'll talk about that as well. So performance against India, it's game 2, pretty good, I would say. Kind of bottled the chase there for a second, but
I think in that game, it was just a masterstroke to send Nawaz up the order. I had
Beautiful.
questions about his batting, but
Nawaz goes 42 off 20, 6 4s, 2 6s, 210 strike rate.
he just changed the whole momentum, put pressure on India, and
So this is where we see the opening order or the plan that the Pakistan cricket team has for the top 3 to stay alive until the 10th, 12th over and then go guns a-blazing. This is one of those moments where we see that format, that plan sort of working.
yeah, I
But
think
we only saw it
Pakistan
once.
needed like 100 in the last 10 overs, or just more than 100, and then they managed to chase that down. So that doesn't happen every single time, right? Like Nawaz is not going to have a good game every single game. So, but that was it was an amazing game for them to Asif Ali to finish it off with Khushtal. And then Rizwan played a really good fighting knock till the end as an anchor. So that was a great game. First time seeing like Rohit actually panicking after that drop catch from Arshdeep.
Yeah.
But even that Arshdeep guy, I want to talk about him as well. He's a really great prospect for India. He's a bowler, left arm, balls 140 kph.
I think he bowled beautifully.
He can swing the ball
Last
both.
over.
He swing the new ball both ways, and he is amazing in the death. I think he should definitely be part of India's World Cup team. And,
But will he?
He will. He will. I think he bowled 2 really crunch overs for India in back-to-back Super 4 games against Pakistan and Sri Lanka, and he was great. He was only given like 7 runs or 8 runs in both overs to defend.
6 in the last.
Yeah, so he was just phenomenal. Kept his cool under pressure and almost delivered a win for India. If he had a few more runs to play with, it could have been a different result altogether.
You want to talk about Bhuvi?
Bhuvi is personally one of my favorite bowlers. I love how good he is with the new ball. He swings the ball both ways. He has an amazing wrist position. But I think he was just taken to the cleaners by Asif and Khushtal as well. So yeah, I think both games, even against Sri Lanka, Bhuvi slipped up and he gave 19 against Pakistan in the second last over, and then 14 against Sri Lanka in the last game.
Yeah.
So very costly overs, and those are the overs that kind of they make or break the match. And at those moments, you want someone like Bumrah who can come in and deliver those Yorkers at will, at pace. I think that's what India was really missing.
Beautifully put. I think Rizwan 71 off 51 was a great anchor. That's the style of cricket I was hoping he would play through this entire tournament.
And then after that game, like India lost against Sri Lanka. Nobody was expecting that. Sri Lanka just had a wonderful tournament. And if you ask me, I think India has just not able to recover from those two deliveries that Shaheen Afridi bowled in the last World Cup. The game against Pakistan last World Cup, they lost, and then they lost against New Zealand, and they were virtually out of the tournament. And here as well, they lost the Super 4 game against Pakistan, and then it's such a demoralizing loss for either teams that it's hard to come back from that. And in these short tournaments, you only have like a day for rest, and then you have to come back and show up again.
Which makes the Pakistan Champions Trophy 2017 win even more astounding, because the way that they lost against India in that game, and then the way that they came back, the first game that they lost, and then the way they came back and won the final, the way that they won it, insane. Same thing with the 2019 World Cup, the loss that they had against India, brutal loss, and then the comeback that they made in that World Cup. I know they didn't make the Super Fours, but it was one of those fight backs where we saw one of the greatest innings by a Pakistani player while chasing in Babar Azam's century against New Zealand in Edgbaston, which I also want to talk about him. Babar continues in this game. This is the third game of the Asia Cup where he does not score more than 15 runs. He scored 14 off 10 here.
Yeah, Babar had a terrible Asia Cup. I think he averaged 11. Maybe he scored like 67 runs in like six matches.
5 or 6 games. Yeah.
If you ask me, I'm just joking, but that handshake against Kohli, it felt like he transferred all of his good form to Kohli, and Kohli transferred his bad form over to Babar. But jokes aside, I think Babar got a bit unlucky. He's a bit out of form, and last 2 games he seemed in a lot of pressure. Media, just the teammates himself. Babar has performed so well for Pakistan over the years that the expectations from him are almost the same as what we have with Kohli.
So that's one of the things that's plagued Babar. Maybe plagued isn't the right word, but it's definitely followed Babar throughout his career is the comparisons with Virat Kohli, right? They play the same number, right? It's Kobe versus Michael Jordan again. Jordan being Kohli in this, Kobe versus Kobe being Babar. And they play the same position. They play the same style of cricket. They play the same brand of cricket. They both are high-class players. Do you think, and we might be guilty of this because we talk about him a lot, and in the way that we do, which is that random saying that you see on the internet that form is temporary, class is permanent. Do we think we've overrated Babar for a little bit? Like he's all class, he's all style, he's Babar, he's King Babar. I'm going to score 66 in this tournament off 6 games.
I strongly disagree.
Really?
Because Babar has the numbers and the stats and the rankings to back up why we hype him so
you don't
much.
think we've overstated his name?
Babar is the only batsman in world cricket right now who is in top 3 rankings of every format of cricket.
Fair.
Babar has...
But would you say he's played like that in this tournament?
No, not this tournament. I think it's unfair to him to single out his performance in this tournament against what he's done in the past. Virat Kohli had a very long dry on her form, but with players like these, you have to persist, and eventually they will turn up, and that purple patch will happen again.
All right, so let's make a prediction right now. 7 T20s coming up in your home turf against England, number 1 side in T20 cricket right now. 2019 World Cup winners. What's going to happen?
I think Babar will definitely come back in form. Even if it's not this series, but in the World Cup, the and even the tri series against New Zealand that we have before the World Cup, Babar will come back in form. The pitches there suit the way that he plays. He likes bouncy tracks. We've seen him score a Test 100, a 97 against Australia in the last tour. We saw him score 50s against in Australia in the last T20I series. He has an ODI 100 there as well. So he likes playing there. The bat comes onto his ball. The ball comes onto his bat really well. So I have no doubts in Babar Azam.
No reason to flag, no reason to raise the alarms, no reason to scream wolf. You think Babar is okay?
Absolutely not. I do have some recommendations and some suggestions for Pakistan team going forward, but I wanted to talk about that after.
Let's get that. Yeah. So the next game after this is the Afghanistan game. We don't have much to talk about that except horrible crowd control. Naseem Shah's 2 sixes. Will they go into the pantheon of the greatest sixes of Pakistani cricket with Javed Miandad and Shahid Afridi?
Absolutely. They're already there.
Already there?
They're
all right. You heard it here first, probably. Probably not. But definitely, those 2 sixes, insane. Lots of emotion, lots of heart, like I said, in this cricket team, in these lads. We should have won that a lot more easily than we did. We sort of kind of bottled it there again, which was kind of a trend in this tournament for Pakistan. We go on to play Asia Cup. We go on to play Sri Lanka in the third game, which is supposed to be a dead rubber game. We play our B team there. Usman Qadir comes in for Shadab, and Hassan Ali comes in for Hasnain. No, Naseem. My bad. I don't know what we did there. I have no idea what we did. Why we went with that. Why they played. We should have played our 11 that we were playing throughout the tournament. I don't know why those changes were needed to make.
I think Shadab had a nickel and then Naseem they wanted to rest. But if you ask me, to be very, very blunt and clear here, I don't think Usman Qadir should be in the 15. You don't need a backup leg spinner. Secondly, I feel like the second best leg spinner in Pakistan after Shadab is Zahid Mahmood and not Usman Qadir. Usman Qadir is very good friends with Babar Azam, so that could be a reason.
We're going to come to that tweet right now.
He is in the team. Hassan Ali, not sure why he got picked and not sure why he played.
I'll tell you, because Shaheen goes down, Wasim Jr. goes down, who comes instead.
No, but I don't think Naseem, he only played 5 matches, man. Like, he needs more experience. He needs more exposure. Naseem, he came in for Naseem, right? Because
no, he came in for Wasim Jr.
No, in the playing 11 against Sri Lanka, we rested Naseem and Hassan Ali came in. So I don't think we were at a point to rest Naseem. Like I agree. You only ball 4 overs, right? You need him to be at his best. You need him more experience, more exposure, bowling with the new ball.
Match experience. It's completely different from that experience.
So I'm not sure why that move happened. But anyways, we lost that match. It was a big wake-up call for our top order, our middle order.
Our bowling unit.
Our bowling unit was pretty good. Our pace attack was good.
Yeah.
But that was sort of the only highlight of that match.
Move on to the finals. That was today.
In the finals, they were talking about you win the toss, you win the match. Pakistan won the toss and automatically they had a 70% chance of winning. But on the other hand, that's what,
after 8 overs, they had a 95% chance.
That was the Pakistani mindset. Like, if you win the toss, we have to win the toss. A lot of emphasis on the toss. Whereas Sri Lanka was more like, we're a champion team. Doesn't matter if we win the toss. If we lose the toss, we're going to win the match. We're going to show skill. We're going to show intent. We're going to show resilience.
Determination.
And that's what they did. So Pakistan won the toss. They bowled first. No surprises there. Shadab came back in the team. Naseem came back in the team.
58 for 5. You want to talk about that?
9 overs, 58 for 5. An incredible start from Naseem Shah. Wicket on the third ball, which is arguably the ball of the tournament. And then for Babar to quickly bring in Haris Rove, back-to-back overs. He gets wickets in every over, bowling at pace, swinging the ball late.
Pause. At that point, do you think this was a clear win for Pakistan?
Not really, because one thing that was a point of concern for me was that the scoring rate wasn't coming down. Dhananjay
It's 9 overs 58. That's very bad.
I would say, considering 5 wickets down, it could have been like 30 or 40. But Dhananjay De Silva, this guy kept playing his shots. He kept attacking. He kept scoring boundaries. And that's one thing that I felt like was the message from the Sri Lankan dugout, like, doesn't matter if we keep losing wickets or whatever happens, show the intent, keep counter-attacking. And I think that's kind of the point where Sri Lanka came back into the match and they dominated.
So what goes wrong there? 9 overs, 58 for 5. What does Babar do?
Babar is getting overs in from Iftikhar. Iftikhar is a part-time bowler. I've been a big advocate of Iftikhar playing as a sixth bowling option and bowling 1 or 2 overs. But in a final match, when he's already got on a wicket, you don't need to get in more overs from him, right?
When did Iftikhar get the wicket? In his first over?
In his first over.
Yeah,
he got De Silva out, big wicket. But Babar kept him on, and I think it was because of the matchups, off spinner against Rajapaksa, left-handed batsman. But I think that's where a big tactical error happened, right? As a captain, when you have the team in a final 58 for 5, you have to go for the kill. You have to have that killer instinct.
What should have he done?
He should have brought the Pacers back. He should have maybe got another over from Haris Rauf or maybe Naseem Shah. Because Sri Lanka doesn't have much depth in their batting. Like the next batsman was Karunaratne. He is an all-rounder, and then it was just the tail. So you needed one more breakthrough, and you could have made some serious inroads within the tail. But Babar here is getting overs in from Iftikhar, which basically means that you're planning on bowling 20 overs from the from your bowlers, and that's kind of what happened, And Hasaranga and Rajapaksa, they had an incredible partnership. Like they kept scoring runs, They kept scoring boundaries. Both of their strike rates were unbelievable. And I think Rajapaksa, what a story. This guy retired in January, citing reasons that he wanted to give more time to his family. But then his resignation was denied by the Sri Lankan Cricket Board, and they requested him to come back, join the team.
Very Imran Khan-esque.
Yeah, and for him to come back, play this innings, I think the best innings of his life so far. At this moment, for Sri Lanka to win this title after so many years, when their country needed it the most.
Yeah, the joke was whoever wins gets the IMF loan.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Yeah,
brutal. You guys are brutal.
Yeah. So I think aside from the first 9 overs, Pakistan was just out of the game. Their fielding, Shadab dropped, 2 really important catches.
Yeah. Why? How are we not? That's the most basic rule of cricket. When the ball goes up in the air, you scream "me" or "I" or "mera" or whatever it is, right?
Mine.
Mine. You call for the ball. What is happening? It's like,
I don't know. Maybe it's too loud. There's 25,000 people.
That's not an excuse, man.
Screaming.
I don't know. They caught some Jaffas there too in the field.
They definitely did. I think with that, I don't think they called for it. They just looked at who's going for the ball, right?
Common sense.
And it's like Shadab is our best fielder. If anybody you want under a high catch, it's Shadab. And Shadab his bowling was good, but he just never looked into the game with his fielding. I don't know if that's because he got hit in the ear with the throw and I think the power play. His ear was bleeding, and then maybe I don't know. It's because of that. Maybe it's the pressure of a big final.
He's played worse, man. Like his catch, the catch that he took against India, which was Virat Kohli's catch on the second time Amar got him out. That was way more high octane, high pressure than this one. But yeah, Pakistan going for the chase. They get awarded 10 free runs before any ball is bowled, right? They technically have to chase 160 in 20, and they don't get there.
Again, I think their template of the top 3 sort of playing 10, 12 overs and then the middle order coming in and playing magical cameos, that's just not it. That's not it, man. Like I'm telling you, for us to lose Babar and Fakhr back to back was a big blow.
Do you think Babar's shot was a little bit immature?
I think the shot was on. It's bad luck. I think you were saying like that shot anywhere to the fielder's
2 feet to the right, to the left,
or the left.
That's a 4.
It's going for a 4. So a very good reflex catch from that bowler.
0.94 seconds. Saw that.
And in that power play, I want to also commend the captaincy of Shanaka. Their first bowler who gave 10 runs before a ball was even bowled. I think his name is Madhushanka. He brought him on for a second over. He brought him on for a third over. And that shows confidence. That shows that you want to go for a wicket. You're bringing the left arm bowler who swings the ball back in because you're looking for wickets. You have intent. That's planning. And I think that for me was very heartening to see. On the other hand, Pakistan just got bogged down. I think even with those 10 free runs, Pakistan made like 30 something or 20 something off the power play for 2 wickets.
Pakistan were 10 runs free. They were given 10 free runs and they were 13 runs off 3 overs for Babar and Rizwan.
Yeah, so I mean, Rizwan and Iftikhar, they tried to consolidate, but I mean, when the required rate is like 9-10, you need a boundary every over. And these guys were just looking to consolidate, play singles and doubles.
I don't understand something. We had 73 runs off 10 overs. That means you need 70 off 10. We need 103 off 10 overs. That's 10 and over. That's doable. How do we go from 103 off 10 overs to 70 off 5?
Yeah, because
what happened there?
Then you're going to target their best bowlers. I think something smart that Sri Lanka did was that they tried to spin a web around Pakistan. They kind of delayed their pace bowlers, and they had Hasaranga ball, they had Tikshana ball. I think they even got an over out of D'Silva, maybe. Yeah, D'Silva bowled an over as well. So lots of planning, and they wanted not to give any pace to Pakistan. And I think Ifti Chacha, Rizwan, man, they just bottled it, man. Like, I couldn't believe that they were doing that. Like the first 10 overs in a big match, they just didn't get any boundaries. They didn't rotate properly. They played too many dot balls, and there was just a lack of intent. You know, there's just in a big final, there's too much expectations from these guys to put all the pressure on the lower order. You know, and these guys are consuming like 60 balls, right? If you combine the balls that Iftikhar and Rizwan played, it's over like 70, 80 balls.
Of the game.
That's like more than half the game.
Yeah.
So if you're playing that many balls, if you're set, it is your responsibility to go out there and finish the match with Pakistan.
Yeah.
I think when both of them got out and Asif Ali and Hoysala came into bat, Pakistan needed 6-2 off 4 overs. That is unreasonable for them to ask.
Yeah.
And then our social media, they have short-term memory, and they're blaming everything on Hoysala,
Asif and Nawaz.
Like that's just not it.
That's not it. That's how we've in the past destroyed players. That's how we've ended careers because of this stuff.
Yeah.
That's not it at all. So that, and then at the end of that day, Pakistan lose it by I think 21 runs. It was just like an abysmal performance at the end. It does not give justice to the great bowling that they did in the first 9 overs. Does not give justice to the brilliant bowling that they did throughout the tournament. Right? Yeah. They had a fighting spirit in the first 3 to 4 games, and then they for some reason started waning away. I don't understand why. And then it's by the end it was the shell of the team that was at the beginning of that tournament. I feel like a lot of our hopes and aspirations with this cricket team lie with Babar Azam, and seeing him go out the way that he did in this entire tournament really brought morale down. What do you think about that?
I think it is Babar. Yeah, he is a big part of that puzzle.
He hits a good 30-40 runs. We're suddenly like, oh, what did Babar do? Okay, he did that. We can do that too.
And Babar and Rizwan, they complement each other, right? So Rizwan is supposed to be the aggressor, and Babar is supposed to be the anchor. But when Babar gets out early, then the roles are reversed. Then Rizwan has to sort of anchor, and then he has to rely on the other guy, Fakhr or Iftikhar, to come in and be the aggressor. Both Fakhr and Babar were in terrible form this whole tournament. So
you want to talk about that a little bit? Fakhr and Babar, what was up with them? Fakhr especially.
I've been talking about for the past 1 year.
Because I don't understand sorry, I'm cutting you off. The argument that we should put Fakhr over Babar, if they're in the same form, it's gonna be the same thing. Babar comes in at the 3rd over or Fakhr comes in at the 3rd over, is the same thing.
No, so if you look at his Fakhr stats while he was opener versus one down, there's a big difference. Fakhr is a great player of pace bowling. He likes the power play. His strike rate while opening is like 134, 135. And when he's playing in the middle order, one down, it's like 110, 112.
But my argument is he's still coming in the first 3 overs.
Right, but he's coming in when a wicket's falling. He has to either take singles and doubles, consolidate. absorb pressure of the wicket, so he can't play as freely as he is
So
naturally
are
able
you
to.
team Fakhar Rizwan opening?
Absolutely, I am. I've been saying this for the past 1 year, but because Rizwan and Babar was doing so good, it kind of nobody was talking about it. But now that they're flopping, um, it's bringing up the question again. And
Do you think they'll do that?
I think it is high time for Babar to take a big captain's decision, come one down, let Fakhar dominate the power play. I think Pakistan, where they're lacking is each power play score. Like, take out the score for the past like 7-8 matches. 6 overs 40, 6 overs 45, 6 overs 47, 36, 38. It's 6 to 8 runs and over. If you're not dominating the power play, it's really hard for your middle order to come in and dominate when your top order is not able to do so. So
What do you want? 6 and 60?
6 and 50, 45, 80. Like, sorry, not 80. Sorry.
Whoa. Okay, there, boy.
I want between 45 to 60 in the first 6 overs. And that can only happen if Fakhar is opening. And if Fakhar can play his natural game, attack, go for the kill, right? And then if we do lose Fakhar's wicket, we have Babar coming in one down. And Babar's strike rate in the middle overs is really good. So it's all the reasons for Babar to come one down and Fakhar to.
Do you actually think Babar's form is out, or he was playing terrible shots? Because some of those, the way he got out with Hong Kong, soft dismissals.
I think
First match against India, soft dismissal. Like, I don't think that's a bad form thing. I think that's a mental thing.
the media convinced him he's out of form. I don't think he's out of form. I think he's had some bad luck, but
Say that again?
I think the media convinced Babar Azam that he is out of form. He is not really out of form. He just had some bad luck. He's played some, 50-50 shots that could have gone anywhere. But I trust in Babar. He's going to come back hard. He works really hard. He's the first guy to go in the nets. He's the last one to come out. Babar is talented, but Babar has a lot of faith in his hard work. I was hearing a podcast of Kobe Bryant talking about when he's making a last minute buzzer beater shot and he makes it. For people, that's a big deal. But for Kobe, it's not really a big deal because he's been practicing that all his life, all the hours in the gym. So for that, it's just applying what he's practiced at practice in a game. Mm-hmm. So it's the same with anything you do in life. And with Babar as well, he practices so much.
You know who else practices a lot?
Kohli.
Asif
Ali.
He's 156
156
in the nets, bro.
God damn
it. Where's the media? Where's the PR team when you want that statement not to be out in the media?
Yeah. But yeah, so I just wanted to talk about, lastly, just the positives for Pakistan of the tournament and then what they can do going forward. I feel like Pakistan has unearthed a really talented fast bowler in white ball cricket, Naseem Shah. He is filling in the shoes for Shaheen. I'm just imagining the time when Shaheen, hopefully, inshallah, becomes fully fit, and we have Naseem, Shaheen, and Haris Rauf as our leading three
That's beautiful.
pacers. All three guys who can swing the ball at pace. Ball
Naseem, Akaash Singh, bro, that's the 90s again. Bring back the 90s, boy.
This is going to be, I'm really excited. As a pace bowler myself, I really want to see that happen. So to see Naseem Shah kind of come up and play the way that we want him to play, and then Haris Rauf to be now an experienced bowler to lead Pakistan's bowling attack, and to also talk about Pakistan's pace battery and the ones that we have in the team and the ones that are on the bench. It's just heartening to see. All my Indian friends are shocked. They're like, how does Pakistan keep unearthing these crazy freak talents, guys who can ball 145, 150 at will?
We got a mine, bro. We got a mine of them. All right, you keep bringing Kohlis, we'll keep bringing Naseem Shahs.
I think when the partition happened between India and Pakistan, the pace battery or the fast bowling belt was on Pakistan's side, and the good batsmen fell on the Indian side.
Yeah, but we got Babar, so I think one of them slipped in.
They migrated from Delhi over to the Lahore.
You build that wall, we'll climb over it, buddy. All right, before we leave, I wanted to talk about this really disgusting thing that happened literally minutes out of the game. Shoaib Malik did, when will we come out from friendship, liking and disliking culture? Allah always helps the honest. ...
Okay, first of all, this guy shouldn't be anywhere near Pakistan cricket anymore. I think he's done. His career for Pakistan is done. I talked about this last World Cup as well. He has not played any match-winning, impactful knocks for Pakistan in ICC tournaments the last 13 years. He should not be part of this team, and I think Babar has made a great call by moving on and picking other guys. Like Iftikhar, I know he's getting hate. At the same time, he has been Pakistan's top performer in the PSL, in the domestic cup. He was the man of the tournament and man of the match the last national T20 cup. So he is picking players based off of merit and looking forward towards the future. Shoaib Malik might have been a good option here in these conditions, but if you're looking forward,
he's 40, man.
But if you're looking forward towards the World Cup, I don't think Shoaib Malik will be good in Australian conditions. So Babar has made a good call by eliminating him from the team.
He's 40. All right. He played cricket with Wasim Akram. All right. He played cricket with Ijaz Ahmed. Okay. This guy, it's like, oh my, I don't even know what the comparison to that is, because it's insane. It's insane what this guy's trying to do. He's trying to squeeze his way into the team.
He's always been someone who's been involved in grouping.
His scandals have always been about what he's complaining about.
Politics, being the poo-poo of the team, going against captains, revolting, playing, just playing politics all around. I don't think he is a good person to be in the team. I think these bunch of guys, I have not seen a more united Pakistan cricket team in a long time. That celebration after Naseem Shah hit those 2 sixes, the whole team coming together, celebrating, that video that PCB released of Pakistan beating India.
Wholesome.
Like that's what you want to see. That's a team.
Yeah.
Everybody is rooting for each other. Like this is a unit. I don't care if they lost this final, they lost the last semifinal, the last World Cup. This is a good bunch of guys, and I'm backing them. And I think all the Pakistan supporters should back them as well. And this is not a point to panic and bring back Mohammad Hafiz, bring back Shoaib Malik, bring back
Afridi
Muhammad from the dead. No, we don't need to do that. We don't need that. I think going forward, Pakistan's top 3 need to shuffle a bit. Babar one down, Fakhr open, and then the top 3 need to show more intent, play at better strike rates. And yeah, you can experiment, but not too much. Like maybe bring Haider Ali in for Iftikhar. I personally feel Pakistan need a pace bowling all-rounder in Australia. They should include Fahim Ashraf in the team.
Fahim Ashraf.
Give him a chance. See what combination you can fit him into.
I saw some people online crying for Sarfraz to come back in Rizwan's place.
These seasonal fans, this is what I don't like about big tournaments. Like all these seasonal fans who haven't been watching cricket, they just come out and they're like, oh, bring this, bring that, do this, remove
Shan
that.
Masood.
Come on, man. What the hell?
All right, I think this is a good place to end. The one last message to that I wanted to give. You know who Akaash Singh is?
I do.
Andrew Schultz's guy.
Akaash Singh.
I saw him. Akaash, I saw you watch the cricket matches against Pakistan, and I saw you screaming on your stories. And after that, you've been quiet, right? This is a message to Akaash Singh that when we go to the World Cup in Australia next month, I want to see you quiet, right? I don't want to see you talking. I don't want to see those stories come out. All right. This is it. This is the Pakistan team that's going to beat India in October. I'm going to make that prediction right now. I'm going to be bold about it. I don't want to see no stories coming out. All right. This was Vaguely Familiar, guys. This was Backward Point. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much for signing in. If you guys are Pakistan cricket fans, subscribe, like, stay on board. There's a lot of interesting matches coming up. There's a lot of series coming up for Pakistan. The World Cup's coming up, like we just mentioned in the Akaash Singh tribute video. We're going to be tuning into all those games. Lots of podcasts coming about Pakistan cricket. Lots of podcasts coming about Indian cricket as well. We have a few lined up. Hot takes coming up. Some big changes also coming up for the podcast. We'll reveal those in the upcoming weeks as well. Thank you very much for following us, for subscribing, asking for this video. It was very heartwarming to see people DMing us privately and otherwise to talk about it, because people want to hear what we have to say. So we appreciate that love. We appreciate that support. And keep it coming, boys. Pakistan in the butt.
Bashaar out.
Bashaar out, Nazar out.